Chapter 1
Part 2.
It's later that night. Josh is long gone. Kitty and our dad are asleep. We are in the kitchen. Margot is at the table on her computer. I'm sitting next to her, rolling cookie dough into balls and dropping them in cinnamon and sugar. Snickerdoodles to get back in Kitty's good graces. Earlier, when I went in to say goodnight, Kitty rolled over and wouldn't speak to me because she's still convinced I'm going to try to cut her out of the Paris trip. My plan is to put the snickerdoodles on a plate right next to her pillow so she wakes up to the smell of fresh baked cookies. Margot's being extra quiet, and then, out of nowhere, she looks up from her computer and says, "I broke up with Josh tonight, after dinner." My cookie dough ball falls out of my fingers and into the sugar bowl. "I mean, it was time," she says. Her eyes aren't red-rimmed. She hasn't been crying, I don't think. Her voice is calm and even. Anyone looking at her would think she was fine, because Margot is always fine, even when she's not. "I don't see why you had to break up," I say. "Just because you are going to college doesn't mean you have to break up." "Lara Jean, I'm going to Scotland, not UVA. St. Andrews is nearly 4,000 miles away." She pushes up her glasses. What would be the point? I can't even believe she would say that. The point is, it's Josh. Josh who loves you more than any boy has ever loved a girl. Margot rolls her eyes at this. She thinks I'm being dramatic, but I'm not. It's true. That's how much Josh loves Margot. He'd never so much as look at another girl. Suddenly, she says, "Do you know what Mommy told me once?" What? For a moment, I forget all about Josh, because no matter what I'm doing in life, if Margot and I are in the middle of an argument, if I am about to get hit by a car, I will always stop and listen to a story about Mommy. Any detail, any remembrance that Margot has, I want to have it too. I'm better off than Kitty though. Kitty doesn't have one memory of Mommy that we haven't given her. We've told her so many stories so many times that they are hers now. "Remember that time?" she'll say. And then she'll tell the story like she was there and not just a little baby. She told me to try not to go to college with a boyfriend. She said she didn't want me to be the girl crying on the phone with her boyfriend and saying no to things instead of yes. Scotland is Margot's yes, I guess. Absently, I scoop up a mound of cookie dough and pop it in my mouth. "You shouldn't eat raw cookie dough," Margot says. I ignore her. Josh would never hold you back from anything. He's not like that. Remember how when you decided to run for student body president, he was your campaign manager? He's your biggest fan. At this, the corners of Margot's mouth turn down, and I get up and fling my arms around her neck. She leans her head back and smiles up at me. "I'm okay," she says, But she isn't. I know she isn't. It's not too late, you know. You can go over there right now and tell him you changed your mind. Margot shakes her head. It's done, Lara Jean. I release her and she closes her laptop. When will the first batch be ready? I'm hungry. I look at the magnetic egg timer on the fridge. 4 more minutes. I sit back down and say, I don't care what you say, Margot. You guys aren't done. You love him too much. She shakes her head. Lara Jean, she begins in her patient Margot voice, like I'm a child and she's a wise old woman of 42. I wave a spoonful of cookie dough under Margot's nose, and she hesitates and then opens her mouth. I feed it to her like a baby. Wait and see. You and Josh will be back together in a day, maybe 2. But even as I'm saying it, I know it's not true. Margot's not the kind of girl to break up and get back together on a whim. Once she's decided something, that's it. There is no waffling, no regrets. It's like she said, when she's done, she's just done. I wish, and this is a thought I've had many, many times, too many times to count, I was more like Margot. Because sometimes it feels like I'll never be done. Later, after I've washed the dishes and plated the cookies and set them on Kitty's pillow, I go to my room. I don't turn the light on. I go to my window. Josh's light is still on.